I used to think I was a reasonably sane person, that I could stay away from the clown costume when it comes to the Game Awards, you know? But no, I'm not. In fact, I don't think anybody is. I have seen every theory you could think of about this statue, and none of it is 100%. If the glove doth not fit, thou must acquit, as they used to say in the Middle Ages or whatever. I think it was the O.J. Simpson trial, actually. So I was sitting at my work desk yesterday, chowing down on a cold pizza, just thinking about the whole situation. You had people who believe it's Diablo, the Elder Scrolls, and God of War. I think it's reasonable to say that those were like the three main theories, right? At least at the start of this. Then Jason Schreier, the angel of death himself, shuts down all three of those theories. It's not Diablo, it's not God of War, and it's not the Elder Scrolls 6. And honestly, thanks to Jason for doing that though. It's helping us manage our expectations. Because if we're expecting the Elder Scrolls 6 and it turns out to be just another Elder Scrolls Online expansion, then I think people would kind of flip. And you can't entirely blame gamers and fans for that. Maybe I'm experiencing the whole hopium sliding into copium phase of the grieving process here, but waiting on the Elder Scrolls 6 is starting to feel like a very slow and long colonoscopy. So yeah, thanks to Jason for managing expectations, but now everyone under the sun has their own theory about what this thing could be, and their theories more or less include anything and everything. If you step back and look at everything that's happening, it's kinda hilarious. This random demon dildo out in the middle of the desert is unhinging the entire gaming community, and I have also fallen into that trap, I'll admit it. I released a video in full clown costume detailing my delirium about how I believe this statue is a teaser for the Elder Scrolls 6. Then, less than an hour after publish, I'm shown a comment on a Reddit post from Jason Schreier where he confirms it's not the Elder Scrolls 6. I feel shame, but mostly regret. And I'm not sure if I'll recover. But that's not gonna stop me from trying. So, I have no theories. I do not have anything. And I'm not sure if I want to have any theories, because I feel like if I put it out there, then Jason Schreier is going to kick in the door and like rip it down immediately. So we're gonna go over some of y'all's favorite theories. Instead, I'm gonna put the angel of death on y'all for a change, okay? The first contender being Saros. I see this almost everywhere. While I can see some similarities with the whole body horror aesthetic and the desert theme, I'm not fully convinced. The animals are what kind of make me doubt there. Then there's Bloodborne 2, which could be a fair contender. It's highly anticipated and the fans are rabid for it. Like, you have some really hardcore fans that are dying to have Bloodborne 2. But I think part of the problem is that there are many games that have some kind of body horror demonic feel to it. I'm really surprised no one mentioned anything about Elden Ring. But for example, I could easily say that this reminds me of Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, which has some demonic cults and desert-like environments, and has a world that could possibly include all of the animals in the statue. But I can make that argument with any game that has demons, deserts, and any amount of real-world animals. Dragon Age Inquisition has demons and deserts and animals. Are we going to get a Dragon Age DLC? No, we're not, but the argument could be made. So now I'm leaning towards this being a new IP, a new project announcement, which could come from anybody. I'm kind of kicking myself in the foot right now because I said that I wasn't going to have any predictions. And this is not a prediction. Jason Schreier, you stay the hell away from me. I'm going to very tentatively suggest that one name that I haven't seen anywhere for consideration yet is Larian Studios, the developers of Baldur's Gate 3. Now, it's far too soon for them to release anything, but that's kind of the beauty about a project announcement. Consider the Elder Scrolls 6 reveal trailer that was shown 7 years ago. Larian is currently working on 2 unannounced projects, and they have not said a damn word about either of them. Nobody outside of that studio knows about what they're working on, and anybody that does vanishes in the dark of night. Another possible announcement could be coming from Republic Games, although I doubt it. Their studio was founded a little over a year and a half ago, and I think barely has has 20 people working on their RPG project now, and it hasn't really had any time to breathe. Although they are backed by Krafton and Krafton's wallet, I don't see them rushing out into the public eye with something as grand as this statue. Another point to consider is going back to the Elder Scrolls, but not the Elder Scrolls 6. It could be the Elder Scrolls Online. Although, why they would feel the need to be secretive about their upcoming announcement, I do not know. I don't see them unveiling anything super major about the game that would warrant this kind of mischievousness. I did see one suggestion for a DLC for Oblivion Remaster, which is definitely a possibility. It kind of fits in with the whole Bethesda Italia clip situation clue thing. The Oblivion crisis impacted more than just Cyrodiil, and every other province had their own trials and tribulations with Mehrunes' invasion. However, would Virtuous, the devs behind the remaster, take the time away from the Fallout 3 remaster to work on an Oblivion DLC? I'm half and half on that. On one hand, sure, I'm all for more single-player Elder Scrolls and Fallout content. On the other hand, will it take time away from the Fallout 3 remaster? And if Oblivion gets a new DLC, then you know that Fallout fans, myself included, are going to want a new DLC for Fallout 3 also. It'd just be the fair thing to do. Overall though, I have no idea what this is. I'm kinda hoping that this is not an already established franchise, because whoever the studio is that kinda put this thing out there, I wouldn't be surprised if they're feeling kinda bad about nobody really getting a concrete answer about what this thing is about. So I'm leaning towards this being a new IP, potentially from a studio that has been underground for a considerable amount of time for now. But for now, we are at the mercy of Jeff Keighley, and we're just going to have to find out what the deal is when the Game Awards happen on December 11th. Until then though, be safe, be well, be kind. Bye-bye.